We were with the Patriots, and I remember Bill Belichick said, stop waiting for a light at the end of the tunnel. Some of y'all are hoping for that light at the end of the tunnel, talking about the end of training camp. Well, just be careful, because that light at the end of the tunnel may be a bus coming your way, a train coming your way, right? Like, damn,
That's
Bill, I
real
ain't
as
never
hell.
heard it like that.
Bad, off-white. Pull up in the drop like I didn't mix my with Fago.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Copeland, aka Professor Cope, and I am here with my dog Ross Mack. Ross Mack got on the Bob Marley shirt. I see you, dog. I see you. Did it just get legalized in Chicago or something, or you just
Man, listen, Bob Marley is my all-time top 3 artists of all time, man. He's one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? This ain't got nothing to do with smoking weed. If you smoke a little weed, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But yes, weed is legal here in Chicago.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, the real question is, who's the top 2? If he top 3, or you said is he 3, or is he in the top 3?
He's in my top 3. I mean, it's hard, bro. I fuck with James Brown heavy. I fuck with Kanye heavy. You know what I'm saying? The list gonna go on. Like, these are people that I would like listen. Random, I listen to Yo Gotti a lot. But he ain't the best rapper, nothing. But like people you enjoyed listening to. But Bob Marley got me through college. Like the Exodus album, bro. I put that on. I'm in there trying to figure out what I'm gonna do in school, or better yet, trying to study for a midterm. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Bob Marley got me through it. 3 little birds. Don't worry.
3 little birds. Hey, sit by my doorstep. Yo,
you better know it, bro.
We need
so
to
that's
get
my
us
cousin,
some,
bro. Bob Marley's actually my other cousin. Yeah,
okay,
seriously.
say no more. Say no more, man. Well, yeah, man. For everybody who don't know, I know we took a little segue there, and that's what happens when you got ADD. So don't judge us. It's just
or CTE.
Just rock with
Let
us.
them know you got a little CTE too, but that's cool.
Jesus Christ. You are tuned into Money Music Culture. You are tuned into Money Music Culture. We are excited because you know what we're going to do. We're going to talk shop, but we're going to have a damn good time doing it. And first and foremost, I need to make sure that we put it on record. We put it on blast. We need to get our first sponsorship, and I think it needs to be a lotion, because Ross Mack got his knees out right now. I know some of y'all can't see. He got his knees out right now, and this
you better know
this
it.
shit is ridiculous. It looks like we talking all this financial education, and this dude is out here looking like he can't afford no lotion.
We thighs and knees out all summer, fellas. It's all good. It's all good.
Ourselves.
The baggy shorts is over with. Let them thighs breathe, fellas. I'm telling you. Ladies been catcalling you. It's our time to shine. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Man. I'm with you. Hey, you know what? So that's a beautiful segue. Watch how I do this, brother. Watch how I do this here. You talk about owning your body and owning your mind, right? But let's talk about ownership, right?
Yes.
We gotta own, right? I think, one of my cousins, because you got so many cousins as well too. I just did the ancestry kit, and 29% Nigerian, y'all. I just went. 29% Nigerian, y'all. I think 22% Cameroon. You know what I'm saying? But
let's go. Not job boy in the building.
Yeah, man. I saw it on the little DNA matches. One of my cousins, Jay-Z, used to say, "He's always asking me the key till you own your own. You can't be free."
That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Till you own your own, you can't be free. All right. So I'm trying to get financial freedom. I that's been my mission, my personal goal since I was a kid. I probably couldn't put it in those terms. I just always knew I wanted to be able to afford what I wanted whenever I wanted to do it, right? I didn't want to go down the candy aisle at the store, a little husky kid, and not be able to afford that. Not be able to just go ahead and buy that, or have to really budget it out to buy that, right? So that was a certain type of freedom I was looking for in terms of my money, right? But I didn't necessarily have the term financial freedom at 7, 8, 9, 10. So now fast forward all these years later, and as I've grown, it's gone from wanting to achieve a certain net worth to wanting to achieve a certain lifestyle. And that lifestyle, I think, can also be compared to financial freedom, or is also commonly referred to as a financially free lifestyle. So now I have no shame in saying it. People always ask, what you want to do when you're done football, and yada, yada, yada. I want to do what I want when I want. true.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean you want to do that? Like, well, where are you going to go? Who's you going to work for? No, I want to do what I want when I want. And
wow,
what that looks like is some days I'm going to be a real estate developer. Some days I'm going to run the foundation. Some days I'm a teach and educate. Some days I'm going to sit down and do nothing and just go on vacation. Some days, every single day, I'm going to be a great husband, great father. But I genuinely enjoy doing what I want when I want, and I'm gonna monetize it the entire fucking way. That's what we're doing, right? Now, that's my definition. That's not even my definition of financial freedom per se. However, I want to kick the ball to you, right? When you think about financial freedom, what is your personal definition of that?
Financial freedom is a freedom of time, like you say, right? Doing what you want when you want, being able, it's not always saying I want to buy what I want when I want, right? Because, it's a certain level of discipline, but financial freedom allows you you can't ever purchase time. You can never get time back. However, it allows you to control your time. And that's how I look at that, right? Because, having a certain level of ownership, a certain level of ownership and a lack of debt gives you the ability to potentially live life free, right? Like, Bob Marley was one of them type of people where they asked him,
what is rich?
My God, it was what you say?
Like, what is rich?
What's a rich
you can see
man?
yourself rich. Yeah, what's a rich man? He's like, riches. It's not money. I'm rich here or something like that. I
Exactly.
think that's
I'm trying
Let's
to
be rolling.
I wish I had
be rolling. Be rolling.
Hey, put that in.
Are you a rich man?
I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life.
Because when he said that, that stuck with me. I felt that because at the end of the day, right, like being rich isn't just a bank account. It's a mindset. It's a spirit. And like you say, having the ability to play with your kids when you want, right? I remember going to work, doing stuff when I didn't want to, but the ability to wake up and just look at my kid like, I don't feel like getting out the bed right now. Let's just go do this. Or picking them up at noon to go get ice cream, right? I think being financially free, right, gives you an ability to live how you want, when you want, and also gives you a certain peace of mind, right? I look at financial freedom as a peace of mind because you don't have a debt overhang. You don't have any financial stress, because finances cause a lot of stress, right? And I think that, one way to actually get there is ownership. I know that's something you big on, right?
Yes, 100%, man. For me, it's like it's playing Monopoly. How do we own as much as possible? And I think I'm trying to understand when you own something, you start to try to figure out how the business works, and then you're able to put all the hard work, all the education, all the lessons, and also your own personal life experiences to practice to actually have a say in how you make it better, how you make it more efficient, how you make it grow, right? And so that's, I think, what has helped me be somewhat successful, relatively successful, whatever your definition of that is it's not that I just am happy or comfortable owning something. It's that I want to make it better so it can have a better impact, so it can be leaner, so it can be smarter, so it can help more people, whatever it may be, right? Depending on the industry or depending on whatever we're doing. But, Tyler Perry had an interview and he talked about how his dad used to be, I'm not sure if he was a carpenter, but he worked in real estate, but he had a craft, right? So he would be hired to come into a home, and let's say he was a carpenter, he would be hired to come into a home and put up the walls or whatever, right? And he said his dad would come home, and I think he said his dad would be excited, like, oh, his dad made $800 on the job, right? And Tyler Perry said he always used to think, well, if you made $800, how much is the person who owns the home making, right? Yeah. And, that has always intrigued me. And I think that ownership is a mindset, because it makes you think about your purchases different, right? When you talk about what is a stock, I want to get invested. Well, I want to own a piece of the best companies in the world, right? Yep. I have an iPhone. I've had an iPhone since my sophomore year of college, because I purchased it because I felt like I needed to be able to get on the internet at my internship and And I saw everybody was able to do it really easy from the iPhone in comparison to that phone I had before. You know what I'm saying? So I got the iPhone. I haven't had a different one since. Converted wifey to an iPhone. Well, at a certain point, is there a way for me, all this money I'm putting into iPhones and putting into those products, can I put it into owning this company? Because when I look up, you know, if we get on a group thread today and that thing is green, half of us gonna be talking shit about the Droid user. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying.
Don't put me in no group chat with somebody with a Droid. Start a whole new group. Boy, better just get them a WhatsApp or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Get the Telegram account or something. But yeah, so for me, ownership is key, and I think that's the type of time I'm on. That's the type of time and the type of energy the show has, and I want to kick it to you because you are an entrepreneur. You've created multiple businesses, but also multiple business streams for yourself. So when you think about ownership, right, like why is it important to you? Because you're Ivy League grad, you worked at Morgan Stanley, right? Like you could be there caking right now and chilling. Why? What does ownership mean to you? Because there's nothing wrong. I want to actually let's take that back. Let's take that back. Let me do that again, because I don't think that, I want to make sure people don't think that I am talking down on somebody who's an employee, because I'm an employee right now myself for multiple companies and for the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem with that whatsoever. My question is, there is a certain time where the employee mindset says, hey, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it to start owning some other assets so that I can eventually buy my time back. Why is that important to you?
No, so look, man, at the end of the day, and I love the way you said it, like at the end of the day, we got to where we were, you know, from having some level of work ethic, right? Our whole life we taught to work hard so that way we could get hired, right? And I think I wouldn't be where I was if I didn't work a job. And the one thing I did learn, though, is that, you know, having only one stream of income is obviously too close to having none. And I think that what you want to do is work your job so that, one, it gives you the ability to finance your other dreams, right? It gives you the ability to finance all your other business endeavors. And I think we're in a new society where businesses, right, corporations are comfortable with you working from home now. It's the new norm, right? In order to remain competitive as a company when it comes to hiring top talent, they're going to have to give you the ability to work from home, you know, a few days a week, right? And with that, you got the ability to then leverage that so that you can start other types of businesses that in time, right? Because the idea back in the day, the American idea was work, retire when you like 60, 70, live off Social Security and the rest of your retirement, and that's that, right? And I think now we're in a new era where everybody kind of wants it now. And the way you really get to having it now is, you know, having that financial freedom. And another part of financial freedom is saying, you know, being able to live off your investments. That's the next thing, right? If you have some type of cash flowing investments, right? When we're talking ownership, right? If we're owning real estate, if we own a real estate and we got tenants, right, we're able to live off the difference of what we pay in our mortgage versus what they're paying us in rent, right? And, you know, as you get older, guess what? You ain't going to have no mortgage no more because you would have paid it off in, you know, maybe 20 years or something, right? And so you look down and now you collecting rent. That's real income, right? If you're getting $2,000, $3,000 per tenant, right? That's real income, right? And so for me, ownership is so real because it allows you to control your time. And it also allows you to never stifle your own imagination. And the reason I say that, like for me with my brands, right? In the event, like I'm able to get calls from competitors and they ask me, yo, are you comfortable with that? Hell yeah. I try not to sign, you know, any non-competes, right? I should be able to work with every bank, 2 same insurance companies, right? And that's just how it is, right? And so when you own your brand, you license it out to people, but they don't own it with you, right? And I think that that's important because as you get older, you want to have something that you got the ability to pass down to your next generation. And that's what true ownership is, having the ability to have a tangible asset that you can then pass down to the next generation. So whether it is your real estate, whether it is, you know, other assets that you own, right? You know, stocks, Maybe cars, watches, etc. But at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is just buy a life of freedom. And the way I equate freedom is being able to decide what you want to do and everything on your own watch, at your own time, at your own leisure, right? Not necessarily having to clock in. And I love what you said, like, yo, we both work jobs. I did, and to a degree, I would never be where I was if I didn't have that level of discipline, right? And if I then tried to start my business without having a piggy bank of actual money that I got from working in a real job, right? No telling where I would be, but working in a job gives you a system that allows me to get up at the same time every day, check emails. You learn how to be a business, right? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. The moment you start thinking of yourself as a Morgan Stanley, as a Coca-Cola, right? You want to continue to own your brand, license your brand out if needed. But at the end of the day, once you start treating yourself like a Fortune 500 company, you're going to look and see your life at a whole different plateau. And so ownership for me is big, bro.
Yeah, no, one of the things I want to ask you, following up on that, is like, how do you decide what to own?
Great question, right? So what do you decide to own? So at the end of the day, let's talk real facts, right? Either you could own an asset or you could own a liability. I define an asset as something that once you purchase it, you believe that it is going to grow in value. So if you bought it for $20, you hope, that it's going to be worth over $21 down the line, right? That is something that is growing in value, right? Or you can own a liability. And a liability is something that, at the end of the day, once you buy it, it has already lost its value. We all heard the saying, oh, you bought a new car. As soon as you drive off the lot, it then lost its value, right? Soon as, not 10 years down the line. Literally, you buy it today, tomorrow, the dealer would no longer buy it for the same price they sold it to you for, right? And so the way I decide what I'm buying, right? At the end of the day, I'm genuinely trying to buy assets, right? Mm-hmm. Every now and then I got to buy a little designer, shut wifey up. I love you. Get her some diamonds here and now, right? But, how it be, dog. But at the end of the day, the assets that I'm purchasing, for me, I'm doing a good due diligence and I'm saying, you know what? Is there a need for this? Am I buying a stock in a company that I believe has a competitive advantage, and I look 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line, not only will they remain at the top of their game, remain being the number one, player in their sector, but they're going to also have such a great management team that they've branched out and did different things, right? Apple isn't just a computer company, right? They branched out into music. They branched out into electronics. They branched out into music streaming, right? Apple is so big. They branched out into data, right? So for me, when I first decide what am I buying, I'm saying, okay, what's the ability of this company to, or what's the need for it, right? And so I look at that if I'm looking at real estate, right? Same thing. Okay, if I'm in this particular sector, if I'm in a particular part of the city, let me look around. Is there going to be some new development? Okay, what's the proximity to some landmarks, right? Will people be coming to stay here or to live here, right? Purely based on, what's the crime rate? Do I see the crime rate going down or going up? Are they developing? And I'm in Chicago, right? Is the Obama Library here? Or how close am I to Soldier Field? Or how close am I to the museum? Or how close am I to public transportation, right? And so that's how I'm looking at those two types of things. But you yourself, you are a serial entrepreneur. So I want to throw that question to you because I think that you yourself, what are the things you checking off? What are some things you checking off the box to say, okay, this is a good investment, or better yet, because we know you cheat, but I still know you be buying some stuff, dog. You got a Twinkie fetish. You got like a Twinkie fetish or something, my boy.
Real. I try to buy memories, man. I'm pocketing memories, but I think I've been taking a step back because one of the things I wanted to chime on there. I learned something so profound the last couple of months is like, one of the things that when we were with the Patriots, right? Years ago, remember during training camp, and this was the pandemic season, so our training camp was different than it had ever been before because we had no spring and all of that stuff. So we came there, and I remember Bill Belichick said, you know, there ain't no light like, stop waiting for a light at the end of the tunnel. Some of y'all are hoping for that light at the end of the tunnel, talking about the end of training camp, you know, 2-a-days and all of that stuff. Which 2-a-days are a lot lighter than they used to be, but they're still Patriots now. Some of y'all are waiting for that light at the end of the tunnel. Well, just be careful, because that light at the end of the tunnel may be a bus coming your way, a train coming your way, right? Like, damn, Bill, I ain't never heard it like that, right? Like, and we've been doing conversations with athletes, these mastermind conversations and stuff, and one of the guys, Larry English, shout out to Larry, one of the things he said is what he stopped doing as he transitioned from the NFL was thinking about that end destination, thinking that, like, you get a certain amount of money or you'll get to a certain point and you'll just be happy. Everything will be set. Everything will be on autopilot. And he said the reason being is because, one, that makes you feel like you're always chasing that, and it's a depressing feeling, as opposed to thinking that I am in the midst of the journey. I'm in the midst of the grind now. But two, some of the companies you just mentioned, when you think about an Apple, you think about an Amazon, you think about a Tesla, you think about any of these stocks, Berkshire Hathaway, they don't have an end point. They don't say, yo, we're just going to do this and then we're good and we're coasting, right? Like, the reason why you invest in and you own those companies is because they are always innovating and they're always trying to grow and build their market share. And I think that that's something that I am valuing more in just my day-to-day life, but now it's something that I'm actively looking for in the companies that I am purchasing and trying to be a part of, whether they're private or they're publicly traded already. For those who don't know, private venture companies, they're not publicly traded on the stock exchange, right? You got to go get access to them through a fund or through the owners and the management team themselves, right? And you can purchase them, and hopefully one day they are a publicly traded company, or they're bought out and you have a big old exit, and you make some money that way. The flip side are the publicly traded companies. Now, when you see an Amazon purchasing a Whole Foods or you know, expanding their business model to do things where you're like, whoa, like, years ago y'all was just connecting people on the internet to, you know, you got some
Amazon
shoes.
Started out selling books.
Yeah, well, yeah,
they trying to be Borders, e-commerce or Borders type vibe.
When you think about it, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Even when you take it even further back, right? Like, you're trying to do books right now. Then they were connecting people, and now they're one of the largest, you know, shipping companies when you think about it, right? Like, one of the largest shipping companies in the world, because now, you know, you talk about, oh, I'm about to buy something, I'm about to get something for the crib. 9 times out of 10, people looking on Amazon before they looking to go to a traditional shopping center or something like that, or store. So anyway, I'm looking for those companies, and then now to take that leap and to say, hey, we're gonna go and buy Whole Foods, and now we're gonna start these Amazon Fresh stores, and now we're gonna do this and this. I'm like, y'all moving different. Y'all on some Ricky Rose. Like, y'all moving different, and I respect it, and I like it. And that's why I'm comfortable trying to own a piece of your company, because I know you seeing some stuff that I don't even see yet, right? Yeah. It might not all be good. It might not all be positive, but I'm sure it's gonna grow and continue to grow more roots into the fabric and the DNA of this company and the way people live. So I think that when it comes to stocks, right, I look for things that are like ingrained in the way we live, right? Like, where you would feel a little less, your life wouldn't be as convenient without this product, whether 1,000%. That's a Visa card, right? Or whether that's one of your favorite home building companies, right? So those are the things that I look for. Now, outside of that, it's like, you know, I'm literally a kid at a candy store just taking up market share and things that I'm interested in. Meaning, when I say that, it means, like, you know, a kid, you just, damn, I like that. Okay, let's do some due diligence, right? Like, let's do some due diligence. Does it actually make money? Okay, cool. Oh, this thing has some legs. Okay, who's the management team? XYZ. Cool. All right, well, I'm the bank. Let's go ahead and put some money into it. And so I think that, you know, just thinking about one of the first and most powerful books that I ever read We got links to it on Life 101. Shameless plug. The Banker's Code. One of the first books I ever read that really opened up my mind. I've really only read it because I knew I always wanted to become the bank. Like, the bank always wins. In Monopoly, and just think about in the world in general, the banks, they always straight some way or another, right? Yeah. So how can I become the bank? And literally, it's funny because years later, like a few years, I'm like, man, I'm not the bank at all. I'm just sitting here just trying to invest in this and this and this and this and this. And then it hit me a few months ago, like, hold on, nah, bro, you are the bank. Like, that's exactly what banks do. Like, you putting your money to work here and putting your money to work here and putting your money to work here and putting your money to work here. And lo and behold, when them things get them returns, then you either look smart or you look stupid, right? And I don't know if you think I look cross-eyed yet, but I'm feeling all right over here. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing. We just gonna keep going and keep trying to own and pull up market share, but more importantly, encourage others to do so as well, man. So
yeah. And I love the quote you said, right? What's the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And what coach you said that again?
Belichick. Bill.
So Belichick, Bill, one, right? You got to look at him as a CEO of a corporation, right? Because he is navigating that team, and either you can stay complacent, right, or you're gonna continue to grow. And so, one, I just want to let y'all know, Cope definitely tried to throw that in there that he played for the Patriots. To be very clear, this was not the Tom Brady Patriots. This was the worst team in the league Patriots. This was This was after Tom Brady. So he definitely threw that in there like, oh, damn, you was a Patriot?
Man in the arena already left.
You played for the Celtics? Nah, bro, I was so geeked for him. And then soon as Cope got there, Brady like, oh, I got to leave. Y'all to let Cope on. I'm gone.
I thought we was get some man in the arena time, bro. I thought we was get some cameras.
People don't even know. The reason Tom Brady left, he was because, oh, y'all got Cope here? I got to go.
Yeah.
But what he was saying was, and I love that, like, the same way you look at it, because one of the things I look at is, what's the competitive advantage? What's the ability to grow in this field? But also, is this field growing, right? The sector growing, or is it like contracting? And what I mean by that is like, do I see a need for this type of product, right? And that's why I was saying Belichick, he's looking and saying, okay, I need speed at this. I need, because he was one of the first people to have 3 undersized white boys playing wide receiver when everybody thought you need to be 6'6". Mm-hmm. He did analytics. He said, with speed is going to be better. And if I throw it to him in this, where the average defender is going to be 4, feet away, then they can, or yards away, then, you know what I mean? So, like, it's a science to it, but that also helps you say, how do I want to approach investing? And when it comes to stocks, you ask yourself, what's the ability for this to grow down the line, right? What's the need of this product, right? When you think about electronic vehicles, right? If you look at electric vehicles, that's going to be the entire world in 5 to 10 years, right? By 2030, they're going to be places that don't even allow you to sell combustible engines, AKA cars that take gasoline. Instead, it's going to be electric vehicles. So when I look at an entire, opportunity set like that, it's like, okay, what makes an electric vehicle go? Oh, wow, they need batteries. Or what companies are making the batteries? Oh, wow, they need charging stations. People ain't going to need gas stations no more as much, right? People need to go somewhere where they can charge their battery. Oh, wow, so you got charging stations. You got battery manufacturers, whether it's lithium or, all these other things. And then it's like, okay, cool. Oh, wait, the world is going to Web 3.0 or, more video games or this, that, and the third. Oh, what's going to be that? Or everybody's on the internet. Oh, wow, we need, companies that are doing, augmented reality, or companies that are doing cybersecurity, because every company now is. And so for me, I always take a step back and say, okay, what's my holistic view of this type of exactly.
What's the runway? How much traction it can have in the future? That's big right there.
Exactly. And I think the last thing I say on that is, right, what's the type of, the person that's driving the ship? And you said something dope, like, when Amazon started as books or Apple started as it, at the end of the day, you need the CEO, right? The Bill Belichick, the coach of that company, right? To be able to say, we're going to pivot, right? Or we also going to anticipate stuff. Like Mark Zuckerberg bought the company that might end up being the face of the metaverse in, what was it, like 2014, right? Oculus, right? The headsets for the metaverse. So like when you start thinking about that, you got to understand the CEOs have to look down the line and see stuff coming, 5 years down. But I won't keep going. I'm gonna pass it to you, and we can go ahead and close him out.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, I think the final exclamation point on that is like the business owners got to make tough decisions. And one of the things you said earlier is I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. And so each of us individually have to make tough decisions. When you think about Apple, right, they're prime, they built a number of historic products at this point, but one of the products that literally put them on the map was the iPod. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was the Shuffle originally or something like that, but having access to 100 songs in your pocket, it was like the tagline or something, right? Yep. And they've come out and said, hey, we're going to discontinue this, right? Like, we got to make this tough decision. We got to discontinue this. Why? Because this ain't where it's at no more. It was cool. It was fun while it lasted, but we're not going to blockbuster this thing. We're not going to hold on to it for dear life and waste time, waste money, etc. It's time for us to focus on where we need to go next, right? And so I think that's another thing when you talk about ownership. You want to be owning companies. You want to be making sure that the management team is strong enough to make the tough decisions, right? I think that's extremely important, and more importantly, extrapolating that to your own life and making sure that you are tough enough to make the tough decisions, because when you're doing something great, everybody can't be happy. Everybody can't be on the team with you. It's just part of being great. And so, sometimes you got to drop your nuts or your ovaries and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, another episode of Money, Music, Culture in the books, man. Ross, man, tell them people, man, stop playing and subscribe. Tell them how you tell them, man.
Hey, listen. Y'all remember that one snotty-nosed boy that used to pick on you at the neighborhood park, right? Well, this is what you do. Go find him on Facebook. You know what I mean? He may or may not have been in and out, but it don't matter, because what I want you to do is tell him to subscribe. Then tell your cousin, the one that's a little klepto, you can't even let him come to the family functions. Make sure you tell him to subscribe and like, right? And then share it with your drunk uncle, and then share it with your auntie who she got her nose done, and everybody she thinking don't nobody know. But make sure y'all do that, man. Share it with your family, and let's get it. Until next episode, Money, Music, Culture. Let's go.